Be sure that Pronax, that last match versus LDLC, he was sitting there with his notebook and he was scribbling away furiously. He knows exactly what NiP are going to be up to here.
Yeah, I still consider this a really big risk, but Pronax, I mean, he's definitely proven he knows what he's doing this tournament. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made it so far. Fnatic versus NiP, and we are live. So welcome to ESL 1 2014 here in Cologne. Now let's see, Fnatic, they are starting on the more favored side, and NiP going with a lot of aggression and already losing a fair bit of health of Freiburg and Forest. So that's a problem, but they might catch Flusher here. Pronax already going down. Flusher got to get back to safety, but there is no safety. Freiburg almost takes him down after dropping his teammate. Flaren goes down. Crims, the backup is here. Flusher stays alive and takes down Forest. There's a knife on JW, but it's not enough.
Crims gets it. Crims in the first round.
Yeah,
on the first map has knifed Exist.
Yeah, and Exist knife his teammate. There's a double knife in the pistol. I think that officially initiates the grand final.
That is a statement. JW wanted to make a point there. We do not respect you, NiP. This title is ours. We will claim our second major championship title. There's not a whole lot you can do about it because I'm going to actually shank you to get it. That's amazing. Fnatic with a fantastic start already in this map. And that is really, I mean, NiP, that has got to be a big blow dealt to their confidence here. I mean, that crossfire set up by Fnatic to hold off that B site, Flusha staying alive so long, and then to cap it with a knife. That is not how things were supposed to go here for NiP.
Well, I think NiP are going to be pretty confident when it comes to losing rounds here. They have had nothing. Their whole run to this grand final has been nothing but close games. So at this point, if nothing else, they've proven to themselves and to everyone watching, they are capable of making these comebacks happen. So hopefully they won't lose their composure in the middle of the match here. Fnatic, on the other hand, they really have been looking dangerously strong in this tournament.
Absolutely. I mean, they took out Dignitas in the semis, and that Dignitas is a team that we were all saying you have to keep your eye on them. Just like VP. VP getting taken out in the quarterfinals, but Dignitas into the semis, and you're thinking, okay, Fnatic versus Dignitas, there's no way to call it. This could go any way, but Fnatic did it in style 2-0. So this is, I mean, they have all the confidence going into this final match here versus their old nemesis. Ninjas in pajamas, all of the pressure is on them. And so far, this second round, it doesn't look like NiP are going to be able to do to Fnatic what they did to LDLC in the last best of 3.
Now, they did purchase an AK, which makes a lot of sense because you do get 1,500 for that knife, so no issue at all. You know, trying to pick up an AK and do something about it. Not really, I think, even a big investment for NiP. They didn't get the bomb down, so they might as well. Normally, they would have just gone for C-sets and armor, but because they had the knife, they could go for an AK instead, and that's kind of a cool switch up.
But that's the benefit of that, because just to make it perfectly clear, you get $1,500 if you get a knife kill. That's why it's so valuable to go for it at times when you have the chance. And so I totally agree with you. I mean, NiP going for it, why not, right? If they can catch Fnatic off guard, they've got SMGs. I mean, Pronax has actually got a Bison right now. If you can take advantage of that, that would be huge. But now we have to see here, NiP not wasting any time at all, rushing straight out onto the B side. Crims holding solid with the help of Olafmeister.
Yeah, and very nice hold here from the counter-terrorist side. They don't lose a single person. Crims gonna pick up a triple kill. And that is one of the things that NiP did have some success with last time they played this map was that rush out towards the B bomb site. So maybe Fnatic have figured that much out, but there are a lot of different options, and NiP haven't tested out nearly any of them yet. Now they have rifles picked up, no AWP on either side, and JW still with a Max 7, which is another point that that Sean was picking up during the pre-game analysis here, is that JW can use just about any weapon.
He can, and he's famous for it, but we've seen what he can do, especially, I mean, Fnatic on Nuke, right? That was the first time, or the big time we saw that Swag 7 really being put to use for JW. He funded his team throughout the entire half. He's done it in the past as well on Overpass, so JW is to be feared when he has that shotty in hand, and he's already got $6,000 in the bank as well. So going into the next round here, Fnatic have plenty of options. They have all of the money. It's all on NiP now to get some big kills and actually take this 4th round by. And there you go. Get right. Finding Crims just through the smoke there as well. Very finely done.
Yeah, tossing a Molotov down into the drop zone and then casually turns and takes down a player right through the smoke. It's a really annoying start for Fnatic. Wow, JW down here in the middle. And this is a pretty cool position to play. If you're going to have a Max 7, then why would you not play when they have to get up close to you? And all of this is Max 7 range at this point, so it's not at all a bad idea. But NiP looks like they are adjusting a little bit. leaving one guy over towards A and moving everybody else over towards the B bomb site. They're jumping through the smoke here and not connecting his Olofmeister. He goes down. Now it's a 3-on-5. Flusher trying to bring it back. Will drop get right. Can they get into the bomb site? Pronax is still holding strong here, and there is not a lot of health on Exist right now. 20 seconds, there's the grenade. Boom, Exist is gone. Fiflaren next. Freiburg and Forrester left. It's a 2-on-2 here. They must realize Pronax goes down. Freiburg again. Absolute clutch. Master and Forrest from behind will drop JW, and the fourth round is a success for NiP. Semler, tell me, how long is Freiburg going to keep this up?
I certainly hope for NiP's sake that it's going to be this entire best of 3, because he, throughout this entire tournament, has been doing amazing work for this team, just getting entry frags, locking down those clutch rounds. Freiburg is a huge reason why they're here in this final right now, and I'm not surprised to see that it's him that makes it possible, because for a second there, it was looking very nasty. Pronax sitting on that bomb, on that B site. If Freiburg misses that shot, it's done. It's over for NiP, and we're looking at Fnatic with 4 rounds on the board. So this is exactly how NiP have to bounce back in this. This is going to give them the confidence going forward now. But we already see, I mean, Fnatic had so much money to invest into this round.
And speaking of confidence, JW just decided, instead of hiding behind the smoke that was thrown towards him, he actually pushed through to try and take a shot before he fell back. So that's really a sign that he is feeling on his A game here. But he has missed both the 2 options he had so far, and just going to be waiting down in the middle here.
JW with that AWP, exactly what we expect to see here. Olofmeister has it as well, and this is something that we have to mention here for Fnatic. Both of those players are some of the best offers in the world. Olofmeister is terrifying with the weapon, but of course everybody knows JW and what he's capable of. But right now he's not exactly connecting with his shots, and he will have to fall back. Forrest will get the punish on Flusha, and that's actually the defense somewhat weakened here on the A site. They lose a man, and Fnatic have to start wondering exactly where NiP are going to be coming from.
What's the adjustment? You gotta, this is such a big map, so getting pickoffs is really great, but if you don't do it too early, you're not gonna have that much time to get into a bomb site. So look at the clock here. 30 seconds, Olofmeister still holding over by A, and he's not gonna miss. Takes down Fiflaren, goes for a second peek. That one isn't gonna connect, but he's still back here. They're getting close now. Olofmeister with a second. Are we gonna see a third? He's looking for the triple. He's not gonna get it. Get right will take him down, but look at the clock now. Semler, 14 seconds here. Forrest drops AW, comes out from behind, takes down Pronax. Crims alone, 9 seconds, and he can't stop the bomb plant.
That shot there was crucial for Crims. If he hit that, he won the round. If he missed it, this is what happens. Forrest will get another frag. That's 4 for him total in this round. But that was a shot that Crims, I mean, it was an opportunity. If he hits it, he wins the round for Fnatic. But unfortunately for him, he just couldn't quite react in time. Olofmeister also with an impressive performance there. I mean, I like to see it that we actually have the ops split up as well. 1 on A, 1 on B. A lot of the time we've been seeing the ops, you know, double op on A, right? That's the go-to setup. But Fnatic already changing it up, trying to catch NiP off guard and really make them wonder exactly how Fnatic are going to be setting up each round.
Now they're actually going to be an eco Fnatic here, and they're moving up quite aggressively, but Get Right going to dispatch of 2 of them quickly. Freiburg down to, Freiburg also picking up Pronax here, so this eco round not really much of an effect, but I like the fact that Fnatic actually tried to make something of it and try to see if they can catch NiP off guard.
I mean, you're talking about a minimal investment here on Fnatic's part. If they can actually catch anybody with those CZs up close like that, they are lethal. And they only need to get a couple kills here to have this be an effective eco as far as Fnatic are concerned. Flusha still waiting right around the angle, just makes it, but Exist is going to peek out, and there you go. This is what we're talking about. Flusha, instant kill on Exist. And that's an excellent trade as far as he's concerned. He's got $300 on him. He just took, what, $4,500 off of Exist. That's a perfect play there for Fnatic.
Yeah, that's exactly how the maths work. Now, Olofmeister's pushing up behind. Would be great if he could catch a kill, but he's actually stomping quite a bit here, thunderfooting away, and he's going to be going down. Fiflaren, not even really sure why, but somehow he ended up in the right place at the right time, and that's just how it works out. So that is going to be equalizing the score here. 3-3, moving into the 7th round. Already, I would say, NiP with a really good adjustment. From what we've seen so far, it seems like you can make do with about 6 rounds or so in the first half. On the terrorist side, that is.
Yeah, 6 rounds would be great, I think, actually, for NiP. If they could get that down, that would be fantastic. We have seen this turn into quite a CT-sided map. So NiP, with this strong start, the ability to bounce back here after Fnatic take the initial 3 rounds is huge for them. And just like we were saying, I mean, a clutch win in that 4th round bye for them really set them on the right path. NiP are now the team to stop here. Fnatic, no fancy weapons for them. It's only going to be Colts across the board with some nades.
Right now, Fnatic holding with just a single person in the middle with that drop zone, and that's actually something NiP haven't gone for yet. So Fnatic gotta make sure they stay awake and really keep you up to date there, because if they get a little bit complacent, if they get defocused here in the middle, that's gonna be a big problem. They gotta, you know, they're a little bit worried. You can see actually they're moving Crimson here, because the longer it takes when NiP aren't hitting that, they keep thinking, well, eventually, probably something's gonna happen here. And it's all about guessing the right round at this point.
It's going to be Forrest actually manning the AWP. Takes a shot, manages to clip JW, drops him down to 20 HP. So that's going to force Fnatic actually into a bit of a rotation. Get right, instantly looking to apply pressure here. There's a man on his left. He flicks in time. He could get two, but he's not going to make it. Pronax will shut him down, brings it back to a 4-on-4, and Freiburg will not find it. Pronax with 2 huge kills for Fnatic.
Yeah, that was a big miss by Freiburg. Now they're pushing into the bomb site, but Flusher's right here. And this is where we saw Forrest hold yesterday. He's going to push up with the M4. Takedown existence looking really good for Fnatic. Flusher with a double kill as well. Forrest alone. Going to get backstabbed. And a great round from Fnatic. Pulls it home. They only lose JW. But the fact is, that could have been a disastrous round for Fnatic. If Pronax goes down to Freiburg, all of a sudden, it's almost no way Flusher can hold the bomb site any longer.
He gets cut up, exactly. It's crossfire town for NiP at that point, and they can just roll onto that site. Flusher in a very precarious position, really. He was able to get the drop on one man, but that is a very popular spot to be holding from. So you can be sure that NiP are, or should be at least, trying to clear it consistently when they make a play for that site. We'll have to see how effective it is in the future. But now, because of that round, Fnatic are able to buy up an AWP now for JW.
And look at the absolute nerve on JW. He actually, again, walks past the smoke and double scopes up towards the sniper nest. If anyone else is out in that courtyard and they're looking towards him, he can't see a thing. I have no idea how he has the nerve to do this in a grand finals for $100,000 at first place.
I love how there's a little bit of symmetry here. This time it's JW tagging Forrest down to 20 HP or so. So JW almost getting caught in that corner as well. NiP missing a bit of an opportunity to get the punish. But this is still anybody's round. In fact, NiP still moving around. I mean, they've only really left Forrest over towards a slope like this, trying to set up and see if he can catch anybody rotating through. Once his teammates start to make noise on B, this is going to be the center of attention right here.
This is actually what they've been doing almost every round, except the last one where they did end up trying to go to A and didn't work. So I guess NiP just decided, look, B bomb side just seems to be working better for us. Can they get the right entry kill here? I think that's the key. Olofmeister waiting in yet a new position. This broken wall, as Steel's calling it, and he's going to pick up the first kill here on Freiburg. Freiburg goes down. Olofmeister pistols out, almost gets the third one, but it doesn't even matter. The rest of his team is there to step it up, and that's a completely solid hold from Fnatic, and a really good adjustment here for the counter-terrorist side.
Very solid. I mean, you pointed it out, but that's a great position there for Olofmeister to be holding. He's really making NiP guess, because you see NiP are trying to adjust to Olofmeister. That's why they throw that Molotov there, to make sure that he can't be hiding behind that angle. He was so dangerous with that AWP in the round before. So now they throw that molly, but Olofmeister, he's one step ahead of NiP. He's already changed it up. So a very solid hold there by Fnatic. Olofmeister holding them at that point means that the rotation comes in with the rest of the defense, and they're able to set up the crossfire and just obliterate NiP. So NiP now down to pistols again. 4 CZs and 1 P250. Freiburg a purist.
So just when it was looking like maybe NiP was going to take control of the game already in the first half here, and this is Fnatic's map pick, they bounce right back on the Fnatic lineup here. Drop zone, going to be nothing but bodies falling down from the sky. There is Fiflaren and Forrest are left, and Crims and the crew are just going to pick it up easily. JW can hear someone running here, jumps up, and actually a little bit dangerous. Knife is out as well. It's going to be a no-scope for JW. A little bit of style points as well in that kill. Can he pick up Forrest as well? Be nice if they could not lose any rifles here, and they won't. So great play from Fnatic. That builds up their economy, their confidence, and also, NiP realize now they have a lot more to do here. A lot of money. Look at this Fnatic scoreboard right now. 9,000 on Pronax. JW with about 7,000 and 8,000 on Crims. Looking really smart.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is now NiP starting to lose a little bit of control here in this round, because they really are going to have to win 2 back-to-back buy rounds against Fnatic before they can really get Fnatic down to that point where they're going to have to start questioning themselves. Do they eco or do they force? NiP now, I mean, it's going to be a long slog for them. They needed to maintain the momentum and keep Fnatic on the back foot, but JW is not interested in that at all. Picks off Get Right to start, giving his team the advantage in this defense.
Flusher all the way by the A bomb site, spotting a couple of people, and JW rotates back in. He's so mobile. Every round he's been over by A long, and then one round he just picks it up, goes to the B bomb side, and goes super aggressive. There's no way in hell NiP could have guessed that was going to happen, and they've only lost 2 people because of it. So right now JW is doing a hell of a lot to work out this win for Fnatic. Pronax comes up with a headshot as well, and it's Forest and Flaren left here, and they're not even getting any kills right now.
It's at that point they're pinned down. They just can't get in. Forest would have had to have landed some sick headshots for that to actually work there for NiP, but it's going to be the rush down.
They wanted to knife him.
Yeah, I think they did want to set up for that. I mean, Fnatic are really, I think this is all like no holds barred right now. There are no lines that need to be crossed or anything like that. They have no respect. It's just going to be, we are going to grind you into the dust right from the start, NiP. Fnatic, this is all about ending this 2-0, not letting it go to a third map.
Yeah, and actually I think it might be even worse. I think it's actually on NiP to end this 2-0, because their third map's Inferno. And I'm not sure if Fnatic, I think I would favor Fnatic on Inferno against NiP right now. That's obviously going to come down to the test here. JW up in that window room in the middle, and obviously it's an eco round from NiP, so there's not really much they can do here. But again, right now NiP aren't even accomplishing to pick up rifles from Fnatic, which means once they start winning again, they're going to need to win so many consecutive rounds. It's going to be really tough.
Oh, and this is a brutal beat down here. Flusha somehow controlling the spray to get more, and he even shoots his teammate in the side of the head. Careful there. Get right will find Crims, so at least there's one kill for NiP. They're going to force Fnatic to spend a little bit of money in the next round, but that's not good enough right now for NiP. NiP need these rounds, these eco rounds for themselves to be a bit closer, a bit more effective. They need to be taking 2-3 rifles off of Fnatic to really have an impact on their money. But still, I mean, JW with the spot at mid, and basically Flusha setting it up perfectly to gun them down. A very quick, clean round there for Fnatic. And now we go into the 12th round. Fnatic with 8 rounds to NiP's 3.
Yeah, they've won the last 5 in a row on the Fnatic lineup, so it's looking really good. Again, JW just pushing out here and scoping up. I really am impressed by the confidence it takes to do this kind of work, because if someone's down there looking by the fountain outside or the statue or whatever it is, he's definitely going to be going down very quickly. And again, a different kind of setup here as JW is down in the middle, going to be taking out Flaren. They just can't guess where he is, and as a result, how are you going to smoke or flash someone out if you don't know where they are? Because you can't smoke off everywhere on Cobblestone. There's so many pathways, that's not an option.
It's just not possible. And I feel like this really just plays to JW's strengths. Great kill there by Get Right, though. Catches Pronax pushing in. He saw the flash go by. He knew exactly what was happening. But Olafmeister with the control of mid is already going to get the flank going. Exist Freiburg down, but Get Right strikes. He's going to pick it up and bring it into a 1v3. But he's kind of caught in a box at this point. Crims is cutting off the access to B site, and there are 2 Fnatic members on that A site. So Get Right, this is the best case scenario for him here. If he could find this kill instantly on Crims. And he is looking towards the right angle, but now there's just too many places for him to be checking. He turns around to check the site proper, and that's going to be it. Get Right getting caught. Fnatic now with 9 rounds on the board.
And that was actually a bit of a mistake on NiP's part, because once they got into the drop zone, that was that was a nice execution. But what happened afterwards was that Get Right was going on the upstairs, and they actually went down the window to the right-hand side. And if they had timed that perfectly, they would have peeked out both sides at the same time. But 2 of them ran out, and Get Right wasn't able to get into position in time. So I think they could have definitely done that better in NiP. Now Get Right's up here, and is JW going to do it again? He's walking out, he's scoping up, and Get Right gets the better of the star sniper on Fnatic's lineup here. So that's a pretty good investment, and I think that position from Get Right was based on his spawn. He spawned close to that sniper tower, and he said, I'm going to go for it.
Hell, I wouldn't even be surprised to see him swap that rifle with somebody else now at this point. Headed over to Forest, get an AK. But NiP now actually have the entry going for them. It's the first big advantage that they've had in quite some time. So we have to see how they decide to play this out, because Get Right got that kill so early. They still have more than a minute left on this clock to start working around the map and seeing if they can get another pick. NiP really with the advantage going into this at this point.
Freiburg, look at this. Freiburg actually with a practice smoke there. This is a set strategy from NiP. That's definitely some homework coming into it here. And they're going to smoke off the right-hand side of the entrance into the B-bomb side. Olafmeister, grenade going to do some damage here, and actually does a fair bit of damage to Forest. Can they take Olaf? He's in the middle of everything. He gets taken out by Exist. Now Pronax has to hold the bomb side. Still 35 seconds. Can they deal with it? They will deal with it. It's Freiburg again. Crims and Flusha are both here. They got to get in quick, but there's still a band backstabbing. Flusha takes down Freiburg. Where's the teamwork for NiP?
Oh, they have to realize that there's another man on here, and they're looking for him. They're expecting Crims to really push forward. I don't know why Crims is just throwing his guns out there, maybe trying to bait a shot out, but he is going to get naded down to half HP. This is still a 2-on-2 situation, and NiP need to find a way past because they're out of nades. They no longer have any way to cut these members off for Fnatic. 10 seconds left, but Get Right strikes, takes out Flusha, and just in the nick of time, NiP will find the plant. Now it's an impossible situation here for Crims. too many spots to check at this point. They can set up the after plans for NiP.
They should be able to. Not really the guy you normally expect to go out sniping here. Get right, but he's already got the double. Hey, he's going to pick up that triple. Get right with the AWP. That is a rare sight. And the few times that we have seen it, it's actually been pretty awful. But this time, it was absolutely what they needed. The first pick on JW, and then they got into the site. And I was just about to scold NiP because what it looked like to me was they had the entrance into B, they had Get Right down in the middle, he could have backstabbed them, and it looked like that was going to be the perfect move. And then he decided, nope, I'm just going to walk in and take them out instead.
We're going to take this fight straight up. Flusha with his rotation also giving the opportunity there for NiP to actually get past because Crims had to hold so passively. So NiP really just managing to make it work, played patiently, didn't try and rush anybody down. They just tried to play for the time and got it done. Get Right, however, now once again out in mid, and he's looking to see if he can't find exactly where JW is hiding this time around. Looking towards the window, looking towards the apartments, but JW in turn is playing fairly passively this time on his own side.
He's taking up a new angle at every single time. If you compare all the 14 rounds we've had so far, 13 rounds, you'll see that JW has... He might have been in the same place 3 rounds later, but there's no 2 consecutive rounds where he's exactly in the same spot. And that is really frustrating for NiP right now. They found him, and that's half the battle right now. At least they know he's on this side of the map.
That's true, and they do know that that A apartments, of course, is going to be the highly contested spot for that A bomb site, because as you can see, either you go down through the ramp, which is wide open, and you don't want to be running at JW across wide open ground, or you try and push through the apartments. But JW and Wolfmeister both have those AWPs, but they have been split up again. There's Flusha managing to strike and pick off Forrest, who was working up that ramp, and now Fnatic have to prepare the defense here for the B push.
Yeah, Olofmeister have been boosted up here. In fact, it's a really great position. He's going to fall back down to safety, but not quick enough for Freiburg, who picks up the headshot. Crims got to stay alive here. He can just wait, hold back here for teammates to come in. It should be all right, but he goes down through the smoke. Get Right will pick up the kill, and I think a big mistake on Crims' part here. 8 seconds now, and they gotta get this bomb down. Flush just rushing up to try and see if he can stop it. He's gonna pick up the one. 4 seconds left, and it's a one-on-one, and they can't put the bomb down. Flush just gonna survive the round, and NiP will run out of time and lose it. And now Flusha, if he gets this kill, that's gonna be even worse.
Fry backing off. Freiburg will get the kill on Flusha. He stays alive, and that was so important. But Get Right, I think he actually got caught on the wall trying to make the jump up to that site. And with so little time, there was no time to go for a re-jump, right, for a second try. And really just NiP playing it down to the wire. But once again, Freiburg, individual play, I think, is what's really determining this here for NiP, whether they get these rounds or not. Freiburg, again, able to get multiple kills and just clear up the defense, because Fnatic were ready. They were prepared. They had already rotated a guy over from that B side, or from that A side, rather, to make sure that NiP weren't getting through. And somehow, once again, NiP, with the help of Freiburg, stormed the site. They just need to do it with the next another 10 seconds, basically, to work with. If they could time it so they have another 10 seconds, then that bomb does go down.
Nice pickup from JW. Takes out one of the few players who didn't have a rifle here. The other 3 do have AKs. We're in the 15th round, and NiP, I'm not sure 4 is enough to work with. I think a minimum is actually 5. 4-11 would be a really ridiculous comeback from NiP if they could do that in the second half. I believe the magic number they're looking for here is 5. They do have a couple of AKs to work with, and even a few smokes, so they can still execute here. But I think right now, what they've been doing for a lot of rounds is also very, should we say, expected for Fnatic, because they put Forrest somewhere with a bomb site, and then everyone else goes B. So as soon as they find Forrest, that's almost an instant tell that probably everyone else is going to be a B.
Yeah, NiP really showing that this is the bomb site that really worked on, clearing everything. Pronax waiting in his little corner. This is the Pronax spot, just spraying, and he gets it with the near final shot. Pronax with the headshot on Freiburg, clears it up, but they do manage to strike back. NiP, the flank comes in from Crimson. He can't do it. Get Right gets him first, and this is now just exist alive, but not for long. Olofmeister removes him from the map, and it will be an 11-4 finish at the end of the first half. Fnatic with an excellent performance on their CT side. This is definitely doable here going into the second half for Fnatic.
I absolutely agree. They did pick the map as well, so you gotta wonder if they have either been studying a little bit or secretly preparing, or whichever way you like it. Either way, they do have a really, really good first half. And
come on, Forrest. Easy skins, easy life. He needs to make it happen. I want to see Forrest grin. We need the Forrest troll grin.
Well, maybe that's going to happen if they end up winning. If not, I'm not really sure. NiP, this
is...
Oh,
there it is! Somebody printed it out! Awesome! I'm loving the posters so far.
3rd major in a row that they've managed to make it to the grand finals, and they've lost the last 2. First time it was to Fnatic, second time it was to Virtus Pro. This time they're up against Fnatic again with a slightly different lineup. But look, that's not even... The really interesting thing is that part of that old lineup is still here in Devilwalk, who's behind them. One of the guys who helped to beat NiP the first time around. So if anyone has, that little extra bit of insight, knows a little bit about the patterns they play in, how they might react to a certain situation, definitely Devilwalk could be that man.
Devilwalk is the man that I mean, it's so fitting for him to be the coach as well, because even knowing exactly how Fnatic interacted as players, right, before the change, before the roster change, Devilwalk was like kind of the older brother mixed father of the team. Everybody would go to him for guidance. He would be the one to keep everybody together, solving any kind of arguments, problems that ever came up. Like that, this team would not have held together if it weren't for Devilwalk. So it really is fitting to have him as the coach, because the players all trust him. He is, their go-to figure. But Olofmeister and Crims coming into this team has really been such a strong addition. I mean, you heard the news and you gasped, right? Schneider and Devilwalk off Fnatic. This is incredible, and they bring in Olofmeister and Crims, but it's only been a good thing here for Fnatic. I mean, obviously they're sitting once again in a final for a major.
Yeah, and with a fairly newly minted lineup, but if you look at the history, though, that's exactly what happened when Pronax was added to Fnatic. They got to play one tournament. That was the MSI tournament in Beijing, China. And then they went straight into DreamHack and won it. They had about a week and a half to play with that lineup, and they won the first major tournament. So there is something that Pronax is able to do, and that's also what Sean Gers was talking about during our analyst panel here. Now, it's going to be the second half coming up. So once again, welcome Fnatic and NiP. Best of 3, and this is the first map, second half, so you're just on time.
Look at how they're really trying to sneak in here, Fnatic. They want to get as many bodies as close as possible to really take this by surprise. Everybody goes thundering down, but Forrest is going to get one. Get Right here with the CZ gets two. Two headshots for Get Right, and he stops the push cold. It's into a 2-on-4, and Fnatic looking to get the edge on NiP and catch him by surprise. Completely flounder.
That was almost like a build order loss for Fnatic. NiP really had a good setup to deal with this. I still think it's a really cool idea for Fnatic, because if NiP just have the one-man holding here, that's going to be a perfect entry. But Forrest and Get Right both, and especially Get Right at that range with the CZ, not at all bad. But this is not over yet. Olofmeister has picked up a USPS, and he's going to try and see if he can snipe someone in this B bomb site. 40 seconds is a problem, and the bomb is also dropped in there. But 2-on-4.
Well, they still have 40 seconds. That's the important bit here. If it was 20 seconds, 15 seconds, this would be an impossible situation for Fnatic. But at least they still have a little bit of time to hunt for the frags. But just NiP holding so passively right now it's key. Freiburg staying alive, that is it as well. And this is going to be the end. Crims gets caught, and NiP will pick up the pistol round here in the second half. It was crucial that they do so, and they do it in very fine fashion.
And a round like that really makes me think, and we can't really test this except if we ask Pronax afterwards, if he actually went for the idea of, he just looked at the games that NiP had played and thought, all right, previous rounds in the eco, they've been having just a single person there. So I'm going to hope that they do the same thing. And NiP maybe didn't. We're going to have to go back and test that. But now we're at the 17th round.
By getting into it, that Pronax was definitely taking notes when NiP were playing LDLC. I mean, we've seen plenty of games from NiP on this map versus Cloud9 versus the whole lot. So really, that Pronax has a lot of information to go off of, but that's the power of NiP. They're able to change up their game at will. They've made the adjustments necessary. They're playing Pronax, and Pronax is playing into their hands, really. So good kill coming in here from Olofmeister. Get Right will manage to nade him into oblivion, however, and Fiflaren finds one as well. Get Right looking to use that Pro 90. Disgusting weapon. But Flesha,
I'm still not really a fan of him picking it up, but actually on this map he has made it work a couple of times, so who am I to question it? There's another thing here that really comes into this as well when it comes to trying to anti-strat on a map that nobody really knows how to play, which is that NiP, if they realize, okay, Pronax has been looking at how we play, let's try and change it up, how many go-to strats do they really have? This isn't like on Nuke or Dust 2 or something. You could go years back and say, okay, well actually maybe NiP could go years back and think, does anyone remember any kind of Cobblestone strat from 1.6 we can pull out? But other than that, they just have a few weeks where they've been looking at it, and that doesn't leave them with much.
No, not at all, and not half that time, just like half a week to really apply, practice anything at all on this map. We are seeing NiP evolve live here on this map. They're going into each official match, and they're getting better each and every time when they come out of them. So this is why NiP are the most consistent team in the world. This is why every team fears them. Their ability to just adapt on the spot. Forest will find JW up in A apartments. There's still a second man here, but not for long. Fnatic with a great headshot, 5-7 in hand. He has yet to upgrade to a rifle as well. But that 5-7 is lethal, and Exist is getting dropped down, but GetRight's got the Pro 90. Fnatic back off. They don't want any of that.
I love this double hold from NiP. I think it's such a good idea having two people here towards the drop zone. Olofmeister goes down as well, and it's a round where actually NiP don't lose a single person. Freiburg will be very low on health here right now, and this should be a huge concern for Fnatic. It's GetRight top fragging with 19 kills, and once GetRight is fired up and running, and we saw how he reacted to the victory against LDLC. Once he's on point, really terrible things can happen to your team.
Yeah, and talking about GetRight, you know, he has been very inconsistent actually, showing some of his lowest performances in his CSGO career in recent months. So for him to come in strong into this grand finals and top frag here, that's going to give him a huge boost of confidence. And you're definitely right, that is going to be a very sad time for Fnatic if GetRight really gets on a roll, because that'll boost the rest of his teammates along with them, Freiburg, Forest, and then NiP become that monster, that Godzilla of CSGO, that is just unstoppable.
Now from that first half, 11-4, now all of a sudden we're at 11-7, and it's only a 4-round difference. That doesn't seem like so much, but Fnatic can take a big leap forward here by winning this round and breaking down NiP's economy a little bit. 2 in a row, and Fnatic almost have this map, so it isn't as bad as it seems here. NiP, they're closing in, but Fnatic can still take it.
Absolutely. They have got full buy right now going into it, so we have to see exactly how they're going to make use of these nades. I mean, we can see Flusha setting up right now. Thank you, Vendetta. And we are going to see exactly where this smoke is going to go down. It's a similar one to the one that Freiburg went for, exactly. Blocking off that spot onto the B site so that the crossfire becomes more difficult, and it forces rotations out of NiP. They have to actually change up their angle to cover this site effectively now that those smokes are down. But hey, Forest doesn't have any problem with that. 2 kills for him in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, and they fell into the drop zone again, and the double hold for NiP really seems to be effective here. If you found spots, one person down the middle, that's Flusha, and actually Fnatic have decided we're going to go for an A push, and I think part of this A push was actually the people jumping down into the middle. So now that they're gone, it doesn't work as well. It's kind of a pincer where one half is missing, and JW coming in a 1-on-4 here. The bomb is dropped in the middle. There's only 10 seconds, and he's going to go down. Forest, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's almost an ace. It's very close here. And it's going to be 8-11. Forest jumping up to 14 kills in this round.
Yeah, Forest is just everywhere, and that's what I'm talking about. If GetRight gets rolling, Forest isn't far behind. Freiburg as well, sitting with 12, 1, and 12. These are the 3 heavy hitters here for NiP. I mean, Exist as well, but they're, you know, the thing is that right now, these 3 players, they're being very greedy. They aren't interested in sharing it all with their teammates. Fiflarin and Exist sitting at 4 frags, but that's not a problem if NiP are winning the rounds. Fnatic now sitting on a pistol round again. They have to eco. They aren't able to get the bomb plant, and that's a crucial point to be made here. That bonus $800 could make all the difference for Fnatic and get them those guns, but it's not going to be the case. GetRight changing up the angle yet again.
And Exist changing their frag score there, up to 5 now. Freiburg goes down to Pronax. That's a really good pistol kill coming in here, but they should be able to stabilize, and it's going to be a round where planning the bomb again will be very difficult here. Pronax made it to the bomb site, but he forgot the bomb, so that is not exactly an ideal situation.
Pronax, I mean, look at actually how it's breaking down for Fnatic right now. Everybody very consistent across the board. Olofmeister with 18 sitting at the top, and that's, I mean, that really just goes to show he is the man who makes things happen for Fnatic. Flusha and Crims right behind him. Pronax and JW not too far behind. So, I mean, really, everybody's playing fairly consistently here on Fnatic's side. Now it's just a matter of them figuring out exactly what NiP are changing in their defense, because you know that Pronax right now, it's going through his head exactly what are the changes, how do we adapt to them, and how do we take advantage of this.
Well, it must be a source of really big frustration if you think you've got a team figured out from watching them just play, then you get in the map and they switch it up just maybe enough that it's not going to work any longer. Can you actually then make a counter adjustment? I think that's an even harder task than the one NiP was faced with, but an opening pick is an opening pick, and that goes for any map. JW, he gives them one onto the top fragger here, one of the top fraggers, which is Forest. GetRight is still alive, of course, and it's a good start for a Fnatic.
And this really works for Fnatic as well. Now we have to see exactly where they take the bomb, and it is shaping up to be a bit of an A play here. 4 guys gathering towards that A slope with JW on high, watching their backs with that AWP, and Fnatic gearing up for this push. NiP, they have gone for the rotation to bolster the defense here. GetRight is now covering with Fiflarin. But Fiflaurin, this is going to be a crucial shot. He needs to land it instantly. As soon as he sees them coming up the slope, he has to drop that man. And there you go. He spots JW first. Fiflaurin coming out ahead for NiP.
How did nobody see each other? It looked like they were just scoped up against each other for such a long time. That's a huge kill. Geralt picks up one and gets a second one. Can he get third? Not quite. But Fiflaurin is there with a quick double end. It will be Pronax left. 1 on 3, and the clock is ticking down here. 19, 18 seconds. If he could get the bomb plant, that would give Fnatic so much more money. But Fiflaurin with a triple kill. And that's about time that Robin Johansson steps it up, and he will do it. Now, outfragging Exist. And you are right, because Fiflaurin and Exist, they're loaded up on the scoreboard. And then in match against LDLC on this very map, Fiflaurin had a long stretch where he killed absolutely nobody. And it nearly cost NiP the game. So if he can step it up even 10%, that could be all that NiP need.
It could be all that it takes. And Geralt doing a very good job there, setting it up. That 1-2 combination defense on A site. Fiflaurin peeks, draws the attention. Geralt gets a frag. Geralt peeks, draw the attention. Fiflaurin takes a man out. So the defense there working very well here. NiP now having to shut down Fnatic once again, who have managed to put together a respectable buy. Quite a few days to work with, but Fiflaurin waiting up in A-Apps, decides to back off, and that single smoke should stop the push here from Fnatic. They won't be able to rush through.
Really dangerously close that they were with that AWP. I really want him to go back and take a longer distance here. So he's going to do that, so that's a really, really smart move, I think, from Fiflaurin. Now, they only have AK, so this time he doesn't have to deal with JW's AWP, but can he still get the kills up in the back here? JW peeks out, and there's a firing squad waiting. They take him down through that wood panel. Forest with the headshot right through, and has come Crims in. He's going to pick up the 1, the 2. Can they do more than that? They need more. Fiflaurin picks up 1. No scope, misses, and it's a 2-on-2. Fnatic have a chance here. They need to pick up this round. They got to do it. They've lost so many in a row. They've not won a single round in the second half. Now is the time for it. 38 seconds, and Freiburg is in a really good position. He's covering the bomb. They have to pick it up, get into the bomb site without losing a single member here, and that in itself is not an easy task. In fact, I think they want to go and try and see if they can make it 2-on-1 before they do it. Flash pops in and Exist is down. Great play from Pronax. Tactical genius here. Now Freiburg is going to be walking around. That bomb is down, and Freiburg looking for a way to equalize the situation. He's going to be walking up, spots Pronax here in the corner, takes him down, turns around for the 180, still 15 bullets left. Freiburg launches it, are you kidding? It's going to be a double, he does it again, and again, and again!
And there's nothing to be said, really. Speechless that Freiburg manages to pull it off. I mean, really, walking in there, and you already saw he knew exactly where the second man would be, where flusha would be holding from, trying to control the spray, does the 180, but keeps his cool. Fnatic and Ninjas in Pajamas both have ice in their veins for Pronax to slow down the pace and turn it into the 2v1 in the first place. He knew how much time they had. He knew he could get the advantage for his team, but then individual performance once again strikes, and we do have NiP actually managing to even things up here. It is now 11-11. NiP with the advantage going into it. Still with the money and quite a bit of as well on Fiflaurin and Exist both. They have no worries here. They can keep the pressure ratcheted up against Fnatic.
Because we luckily don't know how this game is going to end, we can't really call the MVP yet, but at this point, Freiburg is in the lead by miles and miles and miles. I have no idea how it is even possible for one person to clutch that many rounds in a single tournament.
He has been the MVP. It's pretty clear at this point. If NiP were to take the entire thing, he gets the vote. And that is going, there's no discussion there. The number of times that he's saved NiP's bacon. Fnatic, they have to know this as well. And there may be a tremor there, but then again, it is fitting for it to be Fnatic, or Freiburg rather, versus flusha in a 1v1. The clutch players for both teams, and flusha as well, which was said earlier, one of the highest, basically, statistically speaking, at least earlier in the year, the best clutcher in the world. So for Freiburg to take him out, that's not a bad statement. And once again, NiP are going to be shattering Fnatic's confidence. This timeout, I think, is basically them trying to slow down the pace.
Well, there was a PC issue, actually, so they get a bit of a free timeout, which is definitely great for Fnatic. They needed. I think you're right, though. That was a soul-shattering round, because the move that Pronax did, the decision to say, the normal play would say, let's focus on getting the bomb down, and then the pressure is on the counter-terrorists. They're going to try and come and we'll pick them off. And Pronax decided, no, wait, let's make it a 2-on-1 instead. I'll just flash in with a perfect flashbang, godlike flashbang, and takes down Exist and puts them in a 2-on-1, and Freiburg still takes it away. That is something that really cuts deep into Fnatic's mentality right here. And this pause could really help them.
Yeah, I mean, this is really, it actually couldn't happen at a worse time. I mean, if this is not a pause, if they're just resetting, I mean, this could not happen at a worse time for NiP, because this is the moment when you want to actually just continue.
Oh, look at Forrest flirting with the
What's
camera.
Up, Forrest? This is when you want to keep pushing. You don't want Fnatic to have time to catch their breath. You want to keep that pressure on. So NiP need to keep it up on Fnatic right now and not let them get that second breath. Fnatic actually putting quite a bit of pressure early on here. They want to catch that first step on NiP, getting out onto this B site so quickly here. This is now going to break down. I mean, we're falling off. Meister. He's completely blind at this point. Switching to JW, gets a double mow down. Freiburg and Exist cleared up. But then Fifth Lauren comes into play with the AWP. Takes out Flusha and brings it back to a 4-on-3. Fnatic will be able to get the plant, as I said. And now the countdown begins. NiP are on a clock. They have to find a way to root the Fnatic defense out of here because the tables have turned. It's now NiP that are invading the site.
Fnatic have such great positions. Pronax holding back right here is really good. Trusting in his teammates to get the bomb down. JW close. Actually, Flaren takes him down. Pronax jumps down, but I think they've heard it. Get right is here. He takes him down. What's going on? Fnatic have the advantage, but not anymore. Now it's Olofmeister and Krims left 2-on-2. Krims goes down. Olofmeister on 2 HP. Runs out with a knife, and they get the round anyway. There's no time. No, there is. Oh, what? In the last seconds, they get the defuse. I can't believe it. It looked like Olofmeister thought that was going to be over too. He just charged him with the knife out.
That was one of those split-second diffuses, and it went the right way this time. NiP actually coming out ahead with the retake, and just in the nick of time, make it happen. Freiburg raising his arms and shouting at the crowd. I mean, that's a monster right there that you do not want to wake up. If Freiburg joins the Get Right in Forest party, this is going to be very sad here for Fnatic. But Fnatic, they get that plant. They have to keep their cool. Because of that plant, that bonus 800 for everybody, they can get a very respectable buy-in here and just keep hammering at NiP. They have to find a way to break the confidence that the other Swedish team has developed here.
I don't think anyone is going to be joining Get Right now. He's at 27 kills. That's at the very least 9 ahead of anyone else in this game. That's completely monstrous. This is the rebirth of Get Right, because he's really not been playing his own game. This has been a topic all tournament long, just what a slump Get Right's been in. But he's somehow managed to recover himself just when it matters the most. The perfect time to peak in the whole tournament has to be in the grand finals.
Exactly, that's the thing. Of all the times to have your star performance, it is now in the first map on Cobble that Fnatic have picked to mess with your heads. And NiP, they're responding magnificently right now. Fnatic are hard pressed, but Get Right trying to, well, actually catch them off guard here with a bit of an aggressive flash into a peak. Fnatic, they don't flinch. 30 seconds left, and now they're actually going to start feeling the pressure here. Fnatic have to go for this. They don't have any time. They have to overwhelm the defense immediately, but NiP are playing this so perfectly. They fall all the way back to the edges of the site. They're going to hold so passively from here on out and try and just do their best to burn time off the clock, to force Fnatic into a tight spot.
Freiburg, that double spray down sealed the deal. There is nothing Fnatic could do any longer after that. Olofmeister's going to charge in here, but the time is going to end it. In fact, Get Right with a headshot, pushes himself up now to 29 kills. He's 1 away from dropping a 30 bomb with just 24 rounds played here on Cobblestone. This setup from NiP is very, very different from the one they had when they played earlier in the tournament against Cloud9, I believe.
Sure.
Then what they did is they had Exist in the low ground back towards the guard spot that we managed to tournament, and that was something we actually pointed out when I was casting with Steel. This is something we talked about quite a bit during that game, is that, well, if he just moved up to the back, it'd be way better, and it seems like NiP have figured out exactly the same thing. So that's a really big adjustment.
You can be sure that they were doing their homework yesterday and today, and especially after the LDLC match. They had 20 minutes, but NiP have found the time to adjust. Fnatic are the ones reeling now, and Fnatic are actually running out of rounds now to work with here. NiP are on the favorite side of this map, and Fnatic just keep trying to break the line. But NiP, the confidence and the cool that they have right now under pressure is remarkable. Making the right call in the last round, playing the clock against Fnatic, and once again, Fnatic not able to find an entry frag. That's another thing that NiP have been very good about so far towards the end of this half. They aren't giving Fnatic any kind of way in, really, to be able to get an easy way into a bomb site.
But if they can get this kill on Fiflaren, that might open it up, but it's not going to work out like that. Fiflaren imposing his will until Flusha will take him down, but Freiburg and Forrest and Exist is a team effort. Everyone chiming in. Flusha's going to be alone here. Does get a headshot while flashed as well. It's a really impressive AK shot. And the second one, nicely done, Flusha. Can we get a little bit more here? He's going to nearly spray down Forest. It's so close, Flusha. An incredible clutcher, and he almost did that 1-on-4.
Look at GetRight's reaction as well. They knew just how close that was. Had Flusha picked that up, he was actually in a great position behind that boulder as well. He wouldn't have been gunned down immediately. That could have been a very, very close play. And of course, it's Flusha going for the clutch, nearly getting 3 frags. But now we approach the crunch time here. NiP on 14 rounds, 1 round away from securing match point in overtime at the least.
NiP have won 10 rounds in a row in this second half. Fnatic have nothing to show for it at all. Their terrorist side strat, or their attacks to these bomb sites, they've been failing every single round, and now they gotta make it work. If they lose this one, I'm not sure they can come back, and it will be Forest opening up, more grenades raining down in the middle. They gotta make a move on it here, but GetRight steps it up, and now Fnatic, what are they gonna do? They're 3-on-5. They gotta find a kill quick, but I'm not sure it's happening. GetRight will pick up a double end flush. Look at Forest, action style, jumping down, and that's gonna punish them.
That's gonna punish them. Exist missing a huge opportunity. Flusha, if he takes him out, this is over, but Exist makes it happen, and Olafmeister now caught at the bottom of the slope. The bomb on the other side of the wall, the wrong side of the wall, and he's only got 3 HP. He's trying to find a different angle, but Exist will find the frag, and NiP are now on match point. 15-11, 1 round away from securing the first map in this best of 3. You need 2 maps, and they're nearly halfway there. But I think that was actually a bit of a mistake there from NiP, really. I think they got a bit ahead of themselves, jumping down and giving Fnatic a way back into that round like that.
I completely agree, and it's not just a mistake because they lost all those people. It's a mistake to assume that you've won already. Fnatic can take 4 rounds in a row and force the overtime. That is definitely a possibility, and even then, there's still a whole new map, so you can't just take this for granted. But Exist will open up, sprays down one, Freiburg, and Freiburg again before he finally drops. Now it's a 2-on-3. They're running into the bomb site. I'm not sure Fnatic have any control of what's going on right now. They need smokes, they need flashbangs, they need to zone out the orbs that are looking into the bomb site here, put down the bomb and defend it, but it's going to take such a long time. And Flaren has really been stepping up his game here in the second half. He does miss the shot, but Forest will not. Now it's a 3-on-1, and ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be NiP taking the first map away from Fnatic here in the grand final at ESL 1 Cologne. What an upset. This is the map that Fnatic picked.
Yeah, this was all Fnatic. This was all them here, and that was a perfect CT half from NiP. You can be sure that Fnatic felt confident going into this second half here, that they had NiP figured out, but NiP, they surprised us all, and they will take the first map. They have the advantage going into the rest of this best of 3, but let's go ahead and break down this game at the analysis desk. All to you, Scoots.